Organised by the Falkland Islands Bowls Association, on the 20th of June it was the island's first ever short mat bowls ladies and men's open championship. For the newest sport in the islands, 10 men and 5 ladies took to the mat to see who would be crowned the first champion of the Falklands.
Ooh.
Each player has 4 balls to roll, with the aim to get them the closest to the smaller coloured ball called the jack than their opponents. When rolling, 1 foot must remain on the short mat and the balls must not touch the wooden block in the middle. Winners are determined in 3 ways: the first player to reach 21 points, or the highest score after 18 ends, or the highest score after 55 minutes of play, whichever criteria comes first.
In the men's quarterfinals, the first result came through as South African Cecil Alexander dispatched Gary Tyrrell 21-10. Top seed Karel Volchenk, who had been so dominant in the qualifying rounds, avoided a late comeback from Robin Smith to face his fellow South African in the semi-final. In the top half of the draw, coming from mat 2, number 3 seed Steve Smith defeated FITV's very own Oliver Thompson 19-12, progressing through to the next round. Second seed Jim Horton overcame Jack Wilson 17-9 to set up a second seed versus third seed semi-final.
In the women's semi-final, top seed Debbie Horton overcame Jenny Judd 21-0 and moved into the first ladies final. In the second semi-final, second seed Sibby Summers displaced Daphne Almond 21-9 to advance to the next round.
In the first semi-final, Jim found himself 12-1 down after 5 ends played before managing to capitalise, reducing the deficit to 12-8. Steve regrouped and moved into the first men's final, defeating his opponent 21-15. It was a fierce battle in the other semi-final as Cecil and Karel were level pegging 9 all at the halfway mark. By end 17, Cecil just managed to edge into a narrow lead, standing at 16-12 with 1 end to go. Karel hit back, but not hard enough, picking up just 1 point, ending the game 16-13 to Cecil.
It was a close affair in the third place playoff as by end 15, 4th seed Jenny led Daphne by just 1 point, 13-12. Time was beginning to run out as Jenny took a 3-point lead, going into the final end. Daphne was able to limit the gap, but not by enough, to ensure that she won the 4th place bowls mug, and Jenny picking up the 3rd place shield. In the final, it was difficult to predict a winner, following their qualifying match which they drew earlier on in the week 12-12. By end 4, Sibby led the field 6-4. Momentum shifted, however, the following 3 ends, as Debbie picked up 9 points to lead 13-6 and looked set to lift the shield. Despite gallant resistance from Sibby, who managed to fire back, trimming the gap just to 3 points, Debbie remained composed, throwing some excellent bowls, winning the First Ladies Open Championship 22-14. And you are the First Ladies Open Short Mat Bowls champion.
Yay!
How are you feeling? Just give us an insight on how you're feeling.
Excited, yes. Relieved that it's now over because I had some very tough matches. It was very stressful. I thought it's something that me and my husband can do together. Because now the kids are getting a bit older, I thought it might be nice for us to do some stuff together, and this came up and we thought we'd give it a go. So we did. Ecstatic but relieved it's all over, and it's very stressful watching the men play as well actually. It's a very tense game.
In the men's third place playoff, Karel came from 3-0 behind to taking 3rd place against Jim, who settled with 4th place and the Short Mat Bowls infamous mug.
In 4th place we had Jim Horton. Well done.
It was a tense battle in the final as Cecil seized the initiative early on, taking a 5-0 lead. Steve staged a comeback, pulling the score level 6-all by end 8. It was impossible to see the direction of where the game was going to go, as both players were tussling for the top spot. By end 16, Steve had established a narrow 1-point lead, with 2 ends to go at 13-12. By end 17, Cecil picked up 2 points to hop back into the driving seat. In the final end, it required a measure as Cecil picked up 1 point, only by millimetres, to lift the first Men's Open Championship 15 points to 13.
First men's winner of the short mat bowls tournament. How are you feeling?
Unfortunately, my wife was not feeling too well earlier today, so it would have been nice if she could have been here and the children. But I'm quite sure when I get home I'll get a big hug from the children once I tell them that I've won. So yeah, I'm very excited and happy with my performance, and yeah, hopefully we can do this again soon and have more people participating, because once again, as I say, it's all about promoting the sport. It's not just about the competition. I didn't expect that, well, I was always hoping that I will do well. In the group stages it didn't go so well for me, and it put me in a sort of a tough part of the knockout rounds. But yeah, I managed to pull it through and I'm very excited.
That concludes the 2020 Short Mat Bowls Championship. Certainly a prerequisite, as preparations have already begun for the club to compete in the 2021 Guernsey Island Games in indoor bowls.